congressional leaders met with President Obama this morning to discuss ways to avoid the steep budget cuts as a sequester, but the meeting ended about an hour later. Everyone's headed home for the weekend. Here come the cuts.
Until Congress and the White House act, $85 billion will be cut from the federal budget across the board. That means military, airports, every federal agency.
Esmael Adibi has been a Chapman economist for 35 years. He and Jim Doty released their popular annual forecast and have been for 35 years. Essie, welcome.
Thank you.
Well, look, so I know we have a fragile economy to begin with. Now we're having about $85 million about to be taken out every year. Do you think this could throw us into a recession?
I don't think so. It's going to be a huge drag. First of all, it's $85 billion. It's going to be for this year as a whole. It's going to hit every agencies, but some of these are not going to happen tomorrow. For example, the government has to give notice to all the employees and 30-day notice that they're going to go through furlough, maybe their hours are going to be cut, their pay is going to be cut. And during that 1 month period, I think they would come to their senses and moderate the impact. Having said this, though, $85 billion is a large sum of money, and it's going to be, as I said, it's going to be a drag on the economy. So our forecast for GDP growth, this is total output in the country, was that it's going to grow by 2.1%. If this goes fully in effect, it's going to be 0.5% drop in that growth rate to about 1.6%. Still positive growth, but no recession.
Now, the president in his speech this morning said that the lives of the middle class are going to be significantly disrupted. When and how do you think we're going to start to feel this?
As I said, first of all, President is referring to all the categories that are going to get hit hard. The hardest one is going to be the defense. And here we're talking about civilian employees of defense, that they're going to be impacted either in terms of furlough, getting less money, forced vacation, more or less. And then other categories of spending, put the defense aside. People who are receiving unemployment insurance, for example, some of that is going to disappear or get smaller. Aids for families with needed, care. That's going to be impacted. So it's a whole bunch of, areas is going to be impacted. Most economists, let me add that, we believe that we need to cut the spending. Almost every economist is saying that.
So with that belief, this sequester was never intended to really happen. Whose fault is it?
You can't blame anybody. See, in 2011, they talk about this deficit, that we have a shortfall. What should we do with it? They pushed it all to January 1st of 2013 to solve the problem. They did some of it, and then they didn't do a spending cut. They just changed the taxes. So I would blame both parties, Republican and Democrat and President, because they knew this is going to come. They knew at January 1st, and they didn't do anything at March 1st. What's bad about it, and that's what I was trying to allude to, is that across the board is not a good idea. To do, targeted spending cut is much better, because we all know there are lots of fats here and there. It's good to cut those rather than, across the board a spending cut. But that was a political move. They did that because Republicans don't want defense cut back. Democrats don't want other discretionary. So they wanted everybody to feel the pain to come up with a solution. Unfortunately, they postponed it. But the good news is, for your audience, I think March 27, there's another deadline to come up with something we call it continuing resolution. I think by then, the impact, this
then
85 is going to get, 85 billion is going to get moderated. It's going to be lowered.
So
it's not going to be as bad.
We'll have you back later on in the month to fill us in.
We can talk about that.
Esmael Adibi, Chapman economist, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you.
I know you and Jim do your revision in June. Now we know why. Thanks again.
Thank you.